So in today's video, we're going to look at particulate matter. In short, it's called PM. At EPA's website, they have definitions of what PM10 and PM2.5 means. The PM2.5 is what usually people measure as a function of dust that is in the house. And usually these are the particles that cause a lot of respiratory issues like asthma symptoms. And if you have pets in your house, those can contribute to higher levels of PM2.5. So I wanted to monitor this value. So basically, this is just a weekend project. So this is what we're going to build today. So this is a sensor that detects your indoor air quality, and you can monitor the air quality as a function of time. And this is then plotted, and then you can do some actions based on the values that you detect. Okay. So basically, if you want to measure PM2.5, there are different sources. This is one from AliExpress, and basically it uses lasers to detect amount of dust particles in the 2.5 micron range, and then that is sent out using serial signals. And these go somewhere between $10 all the way up to like $20, depending on when you buy this. But then you have to wait probably a few weeks for it to get delivered, depending on where you are. Instead, what I did is I just went to IKEA, and all the discussion about this is in this forum. I'm going to leave the links under the video. So all I did is I just went to IKEA and picked this up. This was like $12. You don't even have to go inside IKEA. They come and drop it off in your car, and that was fantastic during the pandemic. So this was pretty good. So basically, this has a PM2.5 sensor, and it actually has three different colors: green, orange, and red. Red is really high values, orange is above 35, and green is below 35 ppm. And this doesn't come with a cable, so this requires a USB-C cable to actually power this on. So this is kind of very cheap. So this is much cheaper than getting it ordered from AliExpress, and it comes with a very nice case. So in the discussion that I linked here was basically done by this particular user who was able to open it up and see that you can actually read the values directly from the sensor that actually turns on the LED lights over there. So basically what it does is it actually sends the data on this pin, and luckily we have this particular pin that can be used to read those values. So you can power any device that you have. So in my case, I'm using a ESP 8266, but you can have any device. So here is a ground pin, and here is a 5-volt pin. And the moment you connect the power to the sensor, these two are going to power up your device. So basically, you're tapping into the power supply, and then the data is sent using this particular pin that is labeled as rest. So I also have links of all this, of exactly what I did. So the pin, 5-volt ground, as well as the rest pin, and that is connected to my own custom board ESP 8266. So basically, you just choose one of those pins. That is this orange wire over here, or in my case, the green wire over here is connected to a particular GPIO of your microcontroller. So there are two ways to do it. So basically, this particular user has also given all the code that is needed to send an MQTT message. It's up to you. You can load up this code, or you can use ESP Home. So at ESP Home, again, you can just add these two lines. I'm going to leave the links below on exactly the configuration that I used, but that is pretty much it. So the only thing that you would change is this RX pin. So that will be the GPIO where you're actually reading the values from this particular sensor. So if you are using the same sensor, not from IKEA, then you probably have to connect the TX and RX pin. But if it's the IKEA one, all you have to do is same connections that I showed before, and just change this value that corresponds to the GPIO pin that you're reading in. So here is the ESP Home settings. I'm going to leave the links below. Again, this just has the GPIO 14 in my case that I'm using to actually read these values and send it to Home Assistant. I also have another set of code that I put in here. So in this case, what this code actually does is it sends an ESP Now message. So basically, it is doesn't require to connect to your Wi-Fi in your home. Instead, it just uses its own ESP Now protocol. Again, all the links I'm going to leave in the description. So all it does is just reads the value and sends that value using ESP Now. So that's all it does. And then you can use the sensors that I've left the links below. So those sensors can be used to actually create your custom value that you get from your sensor, as well as you can actually create this particular interface that I showed you. So not only that, so basically this is actually showing the spikes during when we cook. So even when we're cooking in the house, it's kind of like very interesting that the particulate matter increases by huge quantity. So in order to get rid of these particulates, so I have a HEPA filter, air filter that is also Wi-Fi controlled. So the moment it hits anything above 35, it's going to turn on the fan. So this is the fan that is Winix fan that you can buy from Costco. That is Wi-Fi controlled as well. So the moment it reads any value above 35, it's going to trigger this fan. And I'm going to show you the automation. Again, I'm going to leave the links in the description. So this is the automation. So basically, the moment it reads the sensor value above 35, is going to trigger the fan. It's going to turn it into the manual mode and then set the percentage to 100%. So it kind of filters the air. So that's it. So now that this is built, you can actually create more actions based on the values that you get. You can turn certain HVAC systems on that have HEPA filters already in it, or you can open a few windows or close a few windows to actually act upon it. So people who have any kind of respiratory issues, especially during the fall season, anything to do with asthma and all that, that is all going to show up here. So basically, kind of you can get the quality of the air in your house and act upon it.